today Commander Vikas Wilson, who has served more than 20 years in Indian Navy. He has received a lot of distinguished service medals, and he's also basically has got a lot of information and worked in the domain of operation and the weapon system in Indian Navy. So in this interview, we'll basically try to understand how was his journey from a normal civilian to joining Indian Navy and various life lessons that he has learned within the services. So, sir, how did the whole journey start? कि कैसे आपने decide किया कि Indian Navy join करना है, and how was your experience in the SSBs?
So let me thank Akash for this beautiful opportunity that he has given me, and that too on this auspicious day of Independence Day, to speak about my journey into the Indian Armed Forces, particularly the Indian Navy. I started my journey way back in 1998 when I joined the Indian Navy on 26th January 1998. But before that, even started after my 12th, which was in 1997. I completed my 12th from CBSE board, and due to I'm coming from a humble background, so various reasons I could not continue my studies. So I was started looking onto the opportunities wherein you would be able to serve, and at the same time you will be able to educate yourself. So what I did was I started appearing for UPSC entrance exams, which is the primary requirement for getting into National Defense Academy, Naval Academy. Subsequently, in 1998, I was left with no other choice but to join the Indian Armed Forces as a soldier, because by the time I cleared my National Defense Academy, my first attempt, I was already undergoing training at soldiers training at Chilka, that is there in Orissa, which is a place in Orissa. And during the time, I received my call letter and went for my SSB. And I knew that when I was undergoing training, there was you don't get enough adequate time to prepare for your service selection board. So I bought a notebook when I was proceeding for my SSB in the interim of my training at Orissa. I reached Bangalore. I don't remember, it is 33 SSB Bangalore, or I don't remember the number of the SSB, but it was in Bangalore. And every day's activity, I was 100% sure that I'm going to get rejected because I was not prepared. And but my mindset was very clear that whatever is happening in SSB, I'm going to document everything day by day, and I will put in my analysis that how I did, because that is very important that you critically analyze your own self, and you should be merciless when you are analyzing yourself, because then only you'll be able to draw a true picture of yourself. So from right day 1 to day 5, when the entire SSB process happens, you go for your what do you call that, word association test, thematic appreciation test, and then story writing. Then these are, I think, psychological tests, if I remember. And then followed by, you got a group testing officer who is going to test you on various GTO tasks. Finally, the interview, and then the conference. So I was writing each and every activity that was happening, and I was pretty sure that I was not doing well, but I was doing very well in documenting everything that was happening. Who is saying what and how it is happening, how the group discussion is happening, how people are taking lead, and things like that. I had noticed. I was rejected in that SSB in 1998, and I came back and started preparing apart from my own work that I'm supposed to be doing. So I used to spend about my working hours were like morning, about maybe about 6 o'clock it will start, and somewhere around say about 6 in the evening it will finish, and again I have to go in the midnight from 12 to 4. So I used to get around time from about 6:30 to about 11:30, 11:45 in the night to prepare myself. And I used to sleep only for 2 hours when I was working, and I was working in the Indian as an engineering mechanic at that point in time. So then again, the entire day I used to spend, like working, and then about 5 to 6 hours of my time in studying and 2 hours of sleep. So I was very happy, and I was very happy in preparing for my next entrance. And subsequently, in 1999, I cleared my exam again, and with my notes, I cleared my SSB also. So the message I would like to give to the aspirants or the people is that when the going gets tough, tough gets going. So that means never give up. So you know yourself best because nobody else knows you. Nobody else can tell you how you are, and nobody else. People can judge you, but they cannot tell you how you are and what can improve you. It is only self. It is a mirror image of yourself, who is the actual reflection of who you are and what you are. And you have to first accept it, and then you know continue with your journey of perseverance. And in pursuit of excellence, definitely one day you will reach there. And the hard work that pays. And then I underwent my training from 2000. Yeah, maybe June 2000. I was there in Naval Academy, and then
Just
subsequently
one
I
question, sir. Uh, so you were basically a sailor initially, right? You joined as a sailor in Indian Navy.
affirmative. Exactly.
Uh, and then you went on to SSB Bangalore, where you got rejected, obviously conference out, and your second
Yes.
SSB was based in Bhopal. So your journey
Yes.
from first rejection to second, what were your thoughts, and how do you manage them basically? Because it would be really, really
Okay.
tough back then.
Kept the focus was very clear in my mind. I did not write anywhere where I was supposed to be. What am I supposed to be doing? But I wrote in my head that this is my focus, and I have to be an officer in the armed forces so I can lead and kind of create an environment for everyone. They start believing that it is possible in this environment of challenging time. It is possible. And you won't believe, I cleared my exam, and you know what, my ship was proceeding for overseas deployment to Israel. And my engineer officer, he asked me that you want to get disembarked, because there were 9 people who got selected for SSB, and I was the one amongst them. 8 people disembarked, and I said, no sir, I want to go to Israel. I want to see Israel, how Israel is. So he said, "Oh, you got an opportunity to, this was your dream. You wanted to, become officer in the armed forces, and this is an opportunity for you to again, appear for your SSB." I said, "Sir, I'll come back and give my SSB, or probably I'll give it next year. But I want to see Israel and Egypt, and I want to be there in Israel and Egypt." So I was a happy man, and I'm a happy person because I live the moment, because I don't know when I'm going to get next opportunity to go to these countries, because being underprivileged in my younger days, I could not get any opportunity to go out of, not even roaming around in India was a very big question for us. So this was an opportunity, and I loved it. And I was, 3 months I was out there in Israel, Egypt, Aden, all these places. And my commanding officer, he called, he came to know that I was the person who got selected, but for the SSB shortlisted, but I'm not disembarked. Disembark means when you go out of the ship and prepare for a recipe. By the time the ship comes, you embark again. So that way, so basically you're left behind. So I chose to be there. Then he called me. I was working somewhere around, I don't know, maybe afternoon. I was working, and the engines were running. They were steaming to the fullest, and I was. My announcement was made by the commanding officer, and called me in his cabin. So he asked me, because why didn't you disembark? Why didn't you, go out there and prepare for an SSB and become an officer? Then I told him, I told my commanding officer, sir, when I when I'm working here, I've got many people who are already donning the uniform of military leaders and officers. So if I go out, what will I learn? There is nothing. There is nothing for me to look forward to. Today, I have so many of you to ask questions to. And I can ask you, I can ask my executive officer, my other officers that, what is so, do you have it in you, wala thing in you that is making you an officer? So that way, I thought, to stay there. And then he called for the entire ship. He made an announcement. An entire ship was standing, about 300 people standing on the platform deck of my ship. And then he said, we have amongst ourselves Vikas Wilson and ME to Vikas Wilson for that matter. And for all the people who are listening and who are the soldiers, they will be feeling that, it is possible. So, we amongst ourselves, we have Vikas Wilson, and he's an engineering mechanic sailor. And look at him. And he is traveling with us because he wants to see the country. He wants to talk and learn. He doesn't want to sit at home and go for the training, coaching, or anything like that, and wants to, achieve his dream. He wants to achieve whilst working. So 300 people in my ship. It was commissioned on 21st January 1975. This ship was commissioned. Okay. And I was the only person from that ship to become officer in the history of its ship in being in commission for about. It got decommissioned in 2005 when I last visited as an officer. Okay,
so which ship is this, which you're talking about, where you were stationed back then?
It was Indian naval ship Shakti. I think it was an oil tanker. It was an oil tanker. So it was an Italian ship, which was, bought from Italy and then subsequently commissioned in the Indian Navy. So then I enjoyed my time in Israel, Egypt. I learned from the, situations. I learned from the environment. I was very happy, picked up everything. When I came for my SSB in Bhopal, and no, what happened was, when I came back, I thought I'm going to lose this opportunity because now there is no time. And it was already third month running, and we were about to reach about March. I don't remember, March 2000. It was March 2000, correct? And April, I think we were back. And then what happened was, I was just wondering whether I am going to receive my call letter because I think I overshot. But fortunately, the day we anchored, in the Indian waters in near Mumbai, off Mumbai, and there was a signal. We call it a signal. We received a message, and that message was disembark Vikas Wilson, and he has to report to Bhopal the next day. Okay, today I'm reaching, I'm anchoring, and today I'm getting a signal that he has to be disembarked and dispatched to Bhopal. So he has to report to Bhopal in the maybe by PM of tomorrow, and then his SSB start day after. So everybody got rejected, and they were coming in the boat, and I was going in that boat. Okay, so people who got, all 8 of them, they got rejected, and they were telling me कि भोपाल में rejection होता है, ऐसा होता है, वैसा होता है. I said it's okay, no problem. I got rejected once. I'm no fear. So when you are already rejected, there is no problem in your life. You are already aware what can hit you and how hard it can hit you. So you are already mentally prepared. So failure is nothing but here. If you have failed from mind. Actually, there is nothing called failure in my whole history. There is nothing called failure. There is always a learning. So I said, okay, let me go and let me also face the music. Let me see how it works. And then I was there in SSB, and it worked clockwork because I was prepared. I used to refer to my notes, what I have written, how it is supposed to be. And I was developing my own views. I was developing my own ideas. I was not going by the book. I was just going how it is, if you are given a situation, you are supposed to be, soldier kaun hota hai? Matlab, who is a soldier or who is an officer? A person who is taking a decision on the spot. There is no written rules for decision making. There is nothing. There is no one clear, way of telling, you do this, you do this, you do this, and then you are decide, and your decision is absolute. No, decision is most of the time in the armed forces spot on, and you should be spot on. So, preparing yourself and then creating such kind of an environment, and then I think spot on is more important. So, and spot on is only when you observe everything around you, when you keep your eyes and ears open, and when you're actually, analyzing things, and you have your own views and ideas and innovation, see how to do these things. So that is how I did not go through any data. I did not go through any of the newspapers. Whatever is the situation, whatever I have seen, I'm going to correlate and I'm going to give a solution to that. That is how I did my SSB also. And like, I'll just give you a stupid example. The interview officer, he asked me. I was doing GTO task, and it was my first day, and my chest number was 51, and I was told, okay, Vikas, you go for your interview. And I was thinking that my chest number is 51, so my chance will come, after the third or fourth day. So my entire thing was packed in a bag, and you won't believe, I didn't know how to put on a tie. And secondly, my shirt was like, it was crumbled like anything inside the bag, and I just moved it out and I just wore it. And I said, I will see whatever happens. It's all right. Now it's not my shirt that is going to make a difference. It's my mind, as my way of looking at things is going to make a difference. And I was just standing outside his office with a crumpled shirt with no tie, or wo bina crease ki pant, and I was just standing there. And I was, I bought new dress also for going for actually for SSB and all. That everything was not there. So I am telling you, it's always spot on which happens. So in that case, I was standing, and then he looked at me the moment I entered, and he was giving me a look. "Ki, yaar, ye kya cheez hai?" Matlab, I mean, I have never thought that a person can enter like this also. So, but he did not say anything to me, and I was like, the moment I sat there and he started off with this series of questions, about myself, about my people, my family, my education background, and things like that. So I gave him. Then he said, "Okay, what will happen if you find a snake underneath your chair?" I said, "I just put my limbs up. That's it. Nothing else I will do." So he was like, "What?" I said, "Yes. That is actually a reaction. That is actually happens. अगर कोई चूहा आपके पैर के पास से चला जाए, suddenly कुछ हो जाए, तो आप सबसे पहले पैर ऊपर करते हो." So I was like, I will just pull up my limbs on top, and that's it. And he said, "Okay." So these are the things, which happens in SSB, funny questions, and you have to be very witty about your answers, because you have to be absolutely clear. Either you know it, or you are, just beating around the bush, and never ever try and give, answers which you cannot defend also. So if you're not clear of the data, it's always better, I'll find out, sir, and I'll get back to you on that. So that is how my entire SSB, and even I'll tell you the GTO task, the group testing of the task. It was, I think, 3-minute command task is about 3 minutes, and then he told me, "Okay, choose your team and choose your equipments." I said, "Okay, okay, sir, I'll choose," and I chose, and then he gave me the situation. Okay, and I was thinking, and he said, "Ki commander, your 2 minutes up." He said, "I've got 1 minute left." He was telling me 1 minute left, 2 minutes left. That's it. So what is your plan? I said, "Sir, I have a plan. Wait." And it was like 2 minutes 15 seconds already up. It's out of 3 minutes. Okay? I said, "It's done." He said, "No, you and your people are standing there." I said, just a moment. And within 15-20 seconds, we were on the other side, and we still had 15 seconds left for that time to finish. That means we completed the task in about 20 to 30 seconds. So he said, "What made you, you didn't get panicked?" I said, "No, sir. I was thinking, and I'm preparing for 2.5 minutes. Maybe 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I was preparing in my mind that how I'm going to do it, and what I'm going to do it, and how I'm going to execute it. Because end of the day, I cannot lose my mind. That is the methodology." So he was like, "Okay, okay." So the point here is, that you take time in preparing, and you have to give adequate time to yourself in preparing, and if you are well prepared, the execution does not take much. So that is how it all works. And coming back to the Naval Academy, I spent about 3 years in the Naval Academy, and I passed out in November 2003, followed by my sea cadet training and my ship training on board INS Emkiri in 2004. And 2005, 1st January 2005, I was honored with my commission from the then President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So it was the biggest moment of my life, because I never knew that, my callous and casual attitude, and easygoing attitude with perseverance kind of an way, I can achieve this. And the moment I had that commission certificate in my hand, and he has the sign of APJ Abdul Kalam, I still feel the same happiness when I see it today also, because it was signed by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was the supreme commander of the armed forces and also the president of the country. So that is how my journey started as an executive officer. And to the entire world, an executive officer is an officer of the Indian Navy who plans and coordinate, strategize everything he does, and he execute also on ground execution, and then he develops, and he develops kind of planning, strategy, tactics. So it is very important, the tactical deployment of your resources, the tactical deployment of your people, and the optimum utilization of your resources is very, very important when it goes to on ground execution. So that is what makes your life actually simple and complicated at the same time. Simple in the sense, when you're put in so much of effort, but at the same time you are handling weapons, you are handling men. So that is the challenge that you face. So I got my bachelor's degree from Goa University, awarded by the Goa University Chancellor himself, and then subsequently master's degree in weapons, because weapons was my inclination. I used to love weapons, and you won't believe, I used to hug my weapons, really. And it was like, I used to love them so much that even today, in my I always read about weapons, I read about technologies, I read about radars. And my life has been all about mainly about three things: that is my men, my weapons, and my radar systems, that is the sensors. So the integration of these three components, man machine interface, MMI, I call it, and it is actually called MMI. So man machine interface is very much important when you want to execute anything. And you won't believe, I can correlate this concept to anything and everything which is existing in this world. So that is how I correlated with even the ambulance. It's like capturing with the surveillance radar. What you do, you're actually doing a surveillance, and you're trying to capture. You're trying to capture you are trying to develop the domain awareness about your environment, who is moving around. When you are at sea, you have multiple ships, the neutrals moving around, the multinational forces moving around, the forces from various countries moving around, and then you are developing the intelligence. Okay, and these are the sensors, these long range surveillance radars, and these are the sensors which are actually helping you to build your domain awareness. Now, what is this information if you are not able to comprehend what is going to do? So that is how you have the capability of decision support methodology, wherein you have your own metrics, that how you can classify something as a target and something as not as a target and a neutral. So taking out a individual target amongst 60,000 plus neutrals is a challenge. Because when you talk about this target, it is not a monetary target, it is a target which actually human life. So let me quote what we used to say in the academy: we live by chance, love by choice, and kill by profession. So so it's like, we have to be well prepared to take the life, but take the life of not the civilian, not the people who are innocent, but we were trained to take away the life of people who are adversary. Very clear in our mind, ruthless. Let me tell you, put it that way, because you have to take a decision. Taking life is not a joke. You can't bring it back. So, decision support metrics and methodology was very, very essential and important to decide on the factor that this is the target that we have to bring down. Okay. And that too amongst so many targets, so many neutrals which are roaming around. Then, passing out and then, launching your own missile systems and actually getting into the situation wherein you are bringing them down. During the course of my journey, the Indian Navy has been kind enough to award medals and awards and recognition, and I was very happy because it was not an award for me, but it was more of an award for the entire team who has worked with me in the Indian Navy. We were the junior most sailor to the senior most officer, that is the commanding officer, and I uh, give my the credit of all the awards and whatever I have achieved during my time. It was not me, but it was my team. So that is why I was very happy when it was being awarded to our unit, whether it is the best surface-to-surface missile award firing, or best in other professions, like being nominated for the best gunnery, that is the weaponry. So it was like it was a it was an honor for me to have been nominated and being amongst so many ships in the country, and you are performing and you're the best. So it's like and it's not you are the best, but the entire ship as a unit is the best. So which always gives a reflection, there is a pursuit of excellence which is happening with every activities that I was doing. So my aim was always like, what I'm supposed to do is every firing, every time I'm getting my people, I have trained every people of my domain, whether it is my department or not. I have cross trained people from various other departments. So we call it collaboration, we call it cross functional training, all these things. But actually, I have trained many people in my life on weapon system. I have literally made them hold weapons in their hand, whether it is a .22 rifle to 76 gun system, to the surface to surface missile system, to surface to air missile system, to surface to air to surface. So it is MiG 29K, whether they MiG 29K wants an anti-air missile system, or they want anti-ship missile system, or they want bomb the multi-pod system. So you name it, and I have handled it. So that is the kind of that was the kind of transition that has happened from the sailor, who is working hand, to an officer who is taking decisions for, and the commanding officer is looking at you, and that you have to take the decision and you have to launch a missile. And when you are launching a missile, it is like it's like fire and forget, because after that you can't take it back. It's gone, and it's gone for good. And then you can just see it flying in the air. I have fired multiple systems like surface to surface missiles, surface to air missiles. I had the honor and to sink 3 target ships during my time in the Indian Navy. So all these things, I will not go in details because all these things are. In, if I am saying in generic, then it's okay, but I cannot specify. I have worked with the Italian system, Moto Milara system, and BHEL Haridwar, that is Bharat Heavy Electronics Limited. I worked with DRDO, wherein I was placed specifically for AK-630. That is a 30 Gatling gun. If you can Google it, just see it. It is a gun which fires at about 4,000 to 5,000 bullets per minute, and bullets are not small. It is a big bullet of this size, and it is 30 bullet for that matter. So it is an anti-aircraft gun, and I was uh, I was literally behind Russians to get the system. Okay, no problem. I'm sorry I've taken so much of your time because I just wanted to indicate that the transition do happen, and it happens when you don't give up in your life, and when you are actually when you are in pursuit of something which you actually want to achieve in your life. That is the message I would like to give it to the people who are going to be listening to this, because that is how you are supposed to be. Don't give up. You have nothing to lose because you have not brought anything in this world, so you're not losing anything actually. So that was the thing which is already which always take me to the next challenge always. And when I was retiring, I was feeling very nostalgic because this place has taught me a lot, and I wanted to have a little bit of corporate experience as well, because I was of the belief that life you get only once, and you have to see the life from all the whatever angles it is possible for us to see. And moreover, even if you are retired, then also your services to the nation is always available, because you are giving in undertaking that you will be available if in the event of war. And I would never want a war to happen, but yes, if it is, then I'll be standing tall, fighting fit, and always thinking ahead. एंड एक बार चले गए तो ध्वस्त करना ही है, वापस तब आना है जब पूरी तरह से बैटल डैमेज असेसमेंट हो जाए, एंड वी हैव achieved our target. So that is how it is, and missile system is something which is back in my mind. Radar system is something which is back of my mind always. And I used to, since I told you that I used to love my weapons, I used to hug them. Actually, I used to tell them, beta is bar must matlab udana hai. And I used to get a reply also from the missile system, yes sir, is bar ho jayega. So it was always like that kind of a feeling was there. And I was I used to take care of my system myself. So with my own team, I love my people, and I really want to through this channel I would like to pay my regards to the entire Indian Armed Forces and the Indian Navy in particular, and all the people who were there, whom I served with. I have served under their commands or served with them, and I'm very happy. Today I'm in Stan Plus, and I'm serving the nation again in a different capacity altogether. But yes, right from like what did I tell you? We live by chance, love by choice, and kill by profession. Now
Yes.
we live by chance, love by choice, and save life by profession. So so it is like मतलब दो extreme हो गए मेरी life के, मतलब profession ही मतलब एक extreme में चले गए. I had the honor to serve in about 19 ships in 21.5 years of my time in various capacities and time. When I say 19 ships, even for a day I have served in any capacity, I have counted that ship as a ship I served, because that 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever number of hours you were there on board that ship, and you're serving that ship. So that is how my journey was, right from the destroyer to frigate to tanker to landing ship tanks to the aircraft carrier.
I have, you name it, and to the missile boat, you name it, and I have served it. So
So
there
I
are
just have one question for you, sir. Basically, for anybody who joins Indian Navy, it would be like a dream to be working on the aircraft carrier. So which carrier were you working on?
the latest aircraft carrier, that was Vikramaditya, and I served as the weapons specialist. And in that, I was looking, that is what I was saying, that MiG-29K, which is the aircraft which is actually carrying all the armament for the airstrike. I was handling that. And apart from that, I was also handling, and I commissioned actually the surface to air missile system on board that warship. I worked with Israeli aerospace industries to actually get that in system installed on board, integrated with the various radar system, that is the surveillance and the fire control radar system. And then I not only got it installed, but also undertook the maiden firing of that system, and with absolute hitting of the target. That means an incoming missile with a time of impact less than few seconds. So this uh, apart from all these things, it was such an honor to be part of this system. When the things are coming on you, when the actually a missile which is being loaded and it is heading towards you, and then it is coming towards you, and then you are calm and composed and you are trying to think how to bring it down. So that is why your whole idea of preparing yourself is very important, very very important. You have to prepare. And contingencies, that is very important. Ki what if it doesn't work? You have to ask this question to yourself: what if it doesn't work? What is your strategy? What is your methodology that you are going to deploy? What if that is also not working? So bounded rationality, yes, tells you, limits your contingency thinking, but you have own capacity to think. And that is how you will become stronger. That is how what will take you. Failure does not failing in particular time should not stop you, because you pick up the learning. You be very quick, adapt to that situation, that okay, ho gaya, theek hai, it's okay. Now you move ahead, go ahead and do, find out a better solution, and a better and improvised way of solving the particular problem. Because it is, you are handling life in your hand, handling the life of your own people, at the same time handling the life of your adversary also. So both on the different scenario altogether.
So मेरा एक और क्वेश्चन है कि after serving in Indian Navy, getting trained at multiple places, अगर आपसे मैं पूछूं कि 3 लाइफ लेसन जो आपने सीखे हो, जो आप बाकी लोगों को भी बताना पसंद करेंगे, तो कौन से लेसन्स होंगे? It can be in terms of the leadership. Yeah.
सबसे बड़ा लेसन तो डोंट गिव अप. ये तो सबसे बड़ा लेसन है. मतलब आई थिंक दिस इज द बिगेस्ट लेसन दैट एवरीबॉडी शुड नो एंड शुड अंडरस्टैंड. नेवर गिव अप. Things may happen, things may not happen, but it will not happen at all if you give up. When you don't give up, then there are chances that probability is high that it may turn out to be in your favor, in your way. But if you give up, then it's not in your way. Second most important thing is continue to look forward to and perceive your dreams. Chase them. It's all right. You may not fulfill them, but in some circumstances you will help some people to fulfill them in your way. Like suppose you're not able to achieve something. It's all right, but you have gone through that times and you've gone through that methodology. you know why you failed. So when you train somebody, when you coach somebody, when you mentor somebody, you tell them why how they can fail, how they have to handle that failure, so how they have to prepare for that failure. So if you prepare for the failures, if you prepare for the contingency, there are high chances that you will succeed. वैसे भी भगवत गीता में भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने भी कहा है कि कर्म करो, फल की चिंता मत करो. And what I see as is कर्म, मतलब how I see when I think of Shri Krishna Bhagwan, and when I think of saying this and I'm imagining him, visualizing him, then I always think that he's telling me, Vikas, कर्म ऐसा करो कि फल की चिंता करने की जरूरत ही ना पड़े. Okay, so that is my take from Bhagavad Gita. I mean, I know people say that कर्म करो, फल की चिंता मत करो, मगर मेरा टेक ये है कि कृष्ण भगवान स्वयं मुझसे ये कह रहे हैं, he's telling me कि विकास, कर्म ऐसा करो कि फल की चिंता करने की जरूरत ही ना पड़े. So that is why I always insist on preparation and put in your best and hearts out effort. मतलब go बजक, मतलब एकदम go out, go all out. It's all right. You have nothing to lose. क्योंकि it is said you when you came on this earth you had nothing, and when you're going here you will have nothing. So when you have nothing before and after, then why are you worried about something which is not even existing? So I don't know, maybe it sounds like philosophy or something, but it's actually you have nothing to lose. Even when life when it is going away from you, you have not brought it, you have not brought your life, you're not done. It was not your effort that has given you life. Then why it is so much of so that is why you have to be fearless in your approach. ठीक है, कोविड है, ठीक है, मुझे जाना अपनी एम्बुलेंस लेके, मुझे जाना अपने लोगों में, मुझे खड़ा होना. I want to see how it happens. I want to see why we have to be afraid of something. No, not at all. It's all right. Face the fear. Get into that. जितने deep water में जाना चाहते हो जाओ. It's all right. No problem. What will happen? You will sink or you will start swimming.
Okay.
You will not take away anything which does not belong to you. So that is what my take is. So this is the biggest lesson I would like to share with my people. And let me tell you, ये कृष्ण भगवान वाला जो एंगल है ना, प्लीज इसको सीरियसली लेना. आई एम टेलिंग यू, आई हैव एक्चुअली टेकन इट वेरी सीरियसली, एंड आई रियली आई एम अ बिग फैन ऑफ कृष्ण भगवान का ये पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट इन भगवत गीता. And my version of it was like he's telling me, so I'm always, so that is what. And everybody who does something out of this world is not because they were extraordinary. It is just that as it is said, they just do things differently. So that's the only thing which always takes you. So
Sir, quickly if you can tell us what exactly does Stand Plus do, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने बहुत बातें की कि मतलब किस तरीके से you are basically using that experience in Stand Plus. So if you can quickly tell us what does Stand Plus actually do?
Stand Plus is a company which deals with the patient care. That means patient transportation is the main business of ours with Red ambulances across the country. We are expanding. We are expanding our domain. We are currently in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Coimbatore, and Raipur, Vizag, Mumbai, Pune. So we are a team that we are building very slowly and gradually. And we are on an upward spike of training our own people for patient transportation. So uh, uh, we have a team of drivers, we have team of medical technicians, we have team of hospital managers, the zonal managers, the fleet managers who are actually handling the fleets, who are running the fleets, who are ensuring that the vehicles are prepared, the vehicles are ready, they are available on time. There is a team of call center who's coordinating the various requirements of the people across the country wherever our ambulances are available. So we have a dedicated team of people who are looking into helping. And they are not only the healthcare we are not only the healthcare sector or the medical emergency response team, but also we are kind of in this scenario, I can call my team as the Corona Warriors, because they are actually doing the daredevil to actually go put on a PPE, go get the people, get them, what do you call recovered, and then bringing them back. So it's a very great cause that the company is actually working into. and I'm able to correlate and do my bit for the company. I'm a very small employee in the company, not a very big thing, but I'm able to handle certain situations.
सर एक और है मेरा सवाल, आपने प्रिपरेशन के बारे में बात किया, सो लेट्स जस्ट अज्यूम समबडी वांट्स टू जॉइन इंडियन नेवी, तो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ टॉपिक्स और कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स है जिसके ऊपर उसके पास बेसिक नॉलेज होना चाहिए, जो आप सजेस्ट करते हैं कि ये बेसिक रीडिंग और नॉलेज होना ही चाहिए इसके पास, क्योंकि आपके पास एक्सपीरियंस इतना है तो उस हिसाब से आप बता पाएंगे कि मिसाइल्स के बारे में कुछ बेसिक पता होना चाहिए, रडार्स के बारे में, ऐसा कुछ आप?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, यू नो 6th स्टैंडर्ड से लेके 12th स्टैंडर्ड की जो किताबें हैं उसको ठीक से पढ़ लेना, दैट्स इट. If you have studied everything from 6th standard to 12th standard, right from mathematics to geography to economics to civics or whatever it is, so if you are preparing yourself from whenever you start your preparation, suppose you don't have to discard कि मैं 6th की book लेके क्या पढ़ने वाला हूँ, but that is what it is. You have to pick up all the books from 6th standard to 12th standard and start reading, and your mathematics and some part of general awareness is taken care of. You have to subscribe to general knowledge books, and you have to keep watching DD news. I'm telling you, because most of the news ठीक है, बहुत सारे news channel बहुत सारी चीजें बताते हैं, लेकिन DD news will morning में और evening में, if you watch DD news you will come to know कि national और international events में क्या हुआ, government क्या कर रही है, कि चीजें क्या हो रही हैं, because they are very specific, DD news. And then you must read books, like there are so many books, like I used to read Competition Success Review and Outlook, India Today, ये सारी टाइम, ये सारी मैगजीन जो है वो आपको पढ़ने से आपका एक डोमेन बढ़ाती हैं सोचने का. And then when you read an article, don't think what he is trying to tell you. You read it and have your own views. That is very important. It is the writer's view. Now what is your view? So to develop that, then you have to be very observant. Okay, so whatever happens, जैसे कि कोई भी situation reaction test के लिए कोई observe किया होगी चीजें, तो your situation appreciation will be very fast. Like I gave you example कि अगर नीचे सांप आएगा या कोई चूहा आएगा, तो what will you do? अरे मैं अपने पैर ऊपर करूंगा. That is what exactly happens. मतलब कितने भी बड़े टाइगर हो, but suddenly something happens, the reaction is like this. So you should remember your reflex actions. Reflexes आपके कैसे act करते हैं उसको observe करना जरूरी है. Story making, storytelling, whatever it is. So whatever you have observed when you're traveling, when you're walking, when you're meeting people, there is always a story around you. You don't have to make a story. जैसे राम ने अचानक से वो लिया और उसने SSB क्लियर कर दिया और वो जाके फौज में ज्वाइन हो गया, मिलिट्री ऑफिसर बन गया, ये सब कहानी ऐसे नहीं होता. कहानी इज नॉट लाइक दैट. कहानी इज लाइक I spoken to Akash, and something I picked up from Akash. Akash ने अपनी जिंदगी के बारे में कुछ बताया, and I picked up कि यार ये कैसे, ये भी कहानी है. That is also story. So you pick up, the stories are around you. They ask you only 12 stories, 10 or 12 stories if I remember. तो 12 स्टोरियां, मतलब तुम्हारे 1.5 करोड़, मतलब पता नहीं 130 करोड़ की जनता में तुम कितने लोगों को डेली देखते हो, मिलते हो, उनसे बातें करते हो, लेकिन उनसे कुछ पिकअप नहीं करते हो, तो then you are losing. स्टोरी तुम्हें 1200 स्टोरी लिख सकते हो, and that too in minimum words, क्योंकि you know live. मुझे नाम भी इमेजिन नहीं करना पड़ेगा. Akash, I had an interaction with Akash, and this picture reminds me of Akash, and this is what happened on the other day, and this, we can always correlate that picture and then tell a story, even if it is a blank. You can tell a blank also. So there is nothing. Blank is nothing but a open platform for you to write anything and everything that you want to paint the world the way you want to paint it.
True.
So it is like that. So I would like to only tell the aspirants कि भैया अपनी किताबें उठाओ, पढ़ो, and there is no other alternative to hard work but to actually get into that deep waters and then start swimming.
Okay.
That is how it is. That is how it works.
सर आज वैसे भी हम ये इंटरव्यू रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं इंडिपेंडेंस डे के दिन, तो what exactly does freedom या आजादी means to you basically?
Freedom of what I want to do in my life, thinking, freedom of thinking. That is the freedom you have, and you are born. Even you are in a prison, you have a freedom of thinking that nobody can take away from you. Should not stop thinking, because APJ Abdul Kalam ji ने कहा भी है ना, in his book The Wings of Fire, I think, dream, 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 dream becomes thought, thought becomes action. तो जब तक तुम्हारी सोच, तुम्हारे ड्रीम्स तुम्हारे पास जिंदा है, जब तक तुम्हारे अंदर उतनी एनर्जी कि उनको तुम एक्शन में कन्वर्ट कर सको, तब तक you can never be defeated. Okay, so that is what freedom for me, freedom of thought, freedom of action.
So thank you again sir, यहाँ पे आपने accept किया हमारा invite इंटरव्यू के लिए.
Thank you Akash, and I am honored actually. एक 15 अगस्त के दिन मुझे इतना बड़ा मौका मिला कि आप लोगों को आपने मुझे बहुत लोगों से बात करने का मौका मिला. मैं उनको सुन तो नहीं सकूंगा, लेकिन डेफिनेटली मुझे इतना जरूर उन लोगों को कहना चाहूंगा कि मतलब कर्म ऐसा करो कि फल की चिंता करने की जरूरत ना पड़े. So that is what my message for them. और give up नहीं करना है, मतलब that is the only thing. You should never give up. कुछ नहीं होगा, you have nothing to lose. So thank you so much, and I would like to see people actually getting into the armed forces. और वो जितने भी adversary हैं उनको, I'll tell you one thing what happened one time, but I will not tell you. Just a moment. That एक बार एक पाकिस्तानी डेलीगेट हमारे यहाँ पर आया, तो I was talking to him and he was telling कि अरे आप इतने पतले से हो तो क्या आप मतलब वेपन्स को लगाओ ये करोगे. तो मैंने उससे जवाब दिया, मैंने कहा सर माय साइज इज 0 बट मैं पूरे पाकिस्तान पे भारी हूँ. मेरा साइज 0 है लेकिन तुम्हारे पूरे पाकिस्तान पे भारी है. So that kind of fire is there. तो ये चीजें हैं ना, हमको हमेशा मोटिवेट करती हैं. और मैं अपने सारे देश के लोग बच्चों से यही कहूंगा कि चाहे वो लड़की हो चाहे लड़का हो, फौज में जेंडर का कोई मतलब नहीं होता, क्योंकि वो सिर्फ फौजी होता है. कोई ऐसा नहीं होता कि लड़की फौजी है और आदमी फौजी है. फौजी होता है, और उसमें एक ही जज्बा होता है कि बस कुछ भी हो अचीव करना है. वही एक उसके दिमाग में मिशन होता है, और उसको और कोई भाषा समझ नहीं आती. So I would like to wish all the best to all of you, and I would like to thank Akash for this beautiful time, and I would like to wish everybody a very happy Independence Day, and independence of thought, independence of action and dreams. As my I will call Guru only, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam kept on saying he was the missile man of India and I was the missile firing man of India. So that way we can correlate. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for your time,
Thank
Akash.
you so for your time. Jai
I'm
Hind, sir.
honored.